Hello, welcome back to another video. Today, this has been I've already filmed an intro for this video and I started the cardigan and I didn't like it. So we're doing this all over again. Basically, I'll insert clips. The plan was to use this yarn that I had bought last year to make a cardigan, and because it was thin, I wanted to pair it up with another yarn. And it is the DK whatever. The information will be here. But I had two balls of it in this, I think it's more like a Christmas color scheme, but when I saw it, I was thinking watermelon. And so I'd done my mental calculations, and I had bought the softy cotton yarn from Bernat, I think, in the color white. I had bought like 5 skeins of it, and it was too thin to pair up for the pattern I wanted. So then I bought the Blossom Cake from Karen in the color Yacht Club, and I started knitting it up, and I didn't like it. It looked like a candy cane, shockingly enough, with those red and green and white. So that was frustrating because the goal of making this cardigan was to use up the yarn I had in my stash, but now I had like 4 times the amount of yarn because I had a sweater's worth in the cottony yarn and now 2 cakes of the Blossom Cake, and I decided I didn't want to use the DK watermelon colors, and I scrapped those because it looked like a candy cane. So I felt defeated because now I had like 4 times the amount that I started with when I was trying to get rid of stuff. Anyways, we changed plans. So I had used one of the Karen Blossom Cake. I had started it for the swatch, so I had already pulled from it, but the other one was unused. So I went back to Michael's, I returned it, and I bought 2 more in the color Azalea and the color Blossom, which is a peach pink and a purple. And I am doing a different pattern, still a cardigan. Here's what the plan is going forward. DK yarn, this is it. It's going back on the shelf. And I did look up what other people did on Ravelry with that yarn to get a better sense of like how it works up, what I might be able to do with it. And it does work up. I saw people double stranding it, so it's a little more. My issue with the yarn is that when the striping was worked up, it was very harsh lines on the striping. So if they held 2 together, then the color changing is a little bit more variegated, a little bit softer. So I might pair the strands up and knit that up, which means I might need to buy some more of those, which is kind of annoying, but I could also do it as a small project or something, maybe like a shawl or something, and then put that for sale. So that is on the back burner. Project number 1, I have started it and I like it, which is good. So I am using the Karen Blossom Cakes, which are 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, or 50-50, I can't remember. But it is a tubular type yarn, very pretty. It has really beautiful like color variations throughout it being worked up, like both warm and cool tones, which is really pretty, and I think it's perfect for spring. And I decided to do a striping yarn, so I did a little drawing, like 2 variations of a drawing of what I might want, and I decided to do a raglan style cardigan that works back and forth, so I didn't have to worry. Well, the initial idea was that the raglan style was for the striping, self-striping yarn, so that the color striping would all stay the same. Now I don't have to because I'm doing the striping myself, but either way I did a raglan style, so it's worked down in one piece. And what's nice too is that the button band is also worked up in garter stitch as you're doing the stocking stitch? Stocking stitch? Whatever. As you're knitting the body, which is knit, purl, all the way down, the ribbing is worked up attached, so you're not doing it after the piece. So it's kind of was overwhelming starting this, like deciphering the pattern, because you're casting on, doing the button band, making sure you're doing the buttonholes as you're working across, but also doing these increases. And then it has also a cable eyelet design, starting from the neck to like the armpits, and then same on the back, like where it builds up the shoulder, which is really pretty. And I have figured it out, because the first working from being cast on after I did the kind of collar piece, like the ribbing of the collar, then when I got to the yoke, I was like, it took like 2 or 3 hours and I did like only a few rows, like not even 5. Part of it is because like I made a mistake, kind of unravel, go back, blah, 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 blah. But we figured it out now. We've had like 2 mistakes where I had to pull back. One was I had a misunderstanding with the graph, so I had to unravel like a row and a half, fix that. And then the other was I had missed, done like a knit stitch or a purl stitch on like 5 stitches when it was supposed to be a knit stitch. So I had to pull back like 6 rows on that and re-knit it. But we're going smooth. I will next clip show you like where I'm at. We already started a color change. I did the math myself and hopefully it's correct. So I measured how many stitches are in like 10 centimeters, and then how many centimeters the garment measures, it shows on the graph in the pattern. So with that, I was like, okay, how many stripes do I want in the pattern? And I thought probably about 8. So I was able to do the maths, and hopefully it works out. Every 7.5 centimeters, I'm changing color. And so hopefully it'll go down and be even by the bottom where I don't have like a color change that's like too short or something. And hopefully it'll work out. I'm still doing the yoke right now, and it is a 4-row repeat, which so far, so good. I haven't done a check-in on my stitches, so hopefully that's okay. But I think it'll be so cute, and I feel like it'll be perfect for spring. I feel like the only thing is that I'm like, kind of want a green in there. So I'm like, maybe I could get buttons with some kind of like green hue, but I also think wooden buttons would really be cute on it. That's my check-in, or I guess the beginning of this video. And now we will go back in time until this point. See ya. Hi friends. We're going out. It is a beautiful day out. Sorry if you see hives on my face. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So, first I'm going to stop at the library and drop off some books I finished. But we are going to Michael's to get yarn. Okay, we're back. I got the Karen Blossom in that yacht color. It is Yacht Club. And they only had 2. So I was hoping to get 3, but we'll see if 2 is enough. If not, I'll just buy another. And it is like that tubular type of yarn. So it calls for, I think, what the heck? Oh, here. It says 5mm, or yeah, 8, a number 8 knitting needles, which I feel like is kind of big. But the pattern I'm using calls for number 7. So here's the 2 of them together. Pretty. Be like this. So little now. I hope it doesn't look like candy cane. If it does, I'll like scrap it. To be honest, I don't want a candy cane sweater. I'd be sad. I don't like it. So frustrating. I think part of it is this like burgundy brown color that is throwing me off. And I think paired with the white, it gives it like a striping effect like candy cane, and I don't like that. So I think I'm going to scrap this project. That sucks. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do with these now, because this was my idea. Because the yarn is so thin, like that's 2. Like, so I guess we'll go back to the drawing board, and I can use this for a different project. But yeah, that sucks. Hello guys and gals and pals. So with me I have a cake that I am returning, a yarn cake, not a real cake, that I am returning. So last time I was at Michael's, I bought 2 of the blossom cakes in the color Yacht Club, and the plan was to uphold it with the DK yarn. And now that I'm not doing that, changed my plan. So one of the cakes I already used for the swatch, so that one I can't return, but this one is untouched, so I'm going to return it, and I'm going to get either 1 or 2, I'm thinking 2, of the blossom cake, so staying with the same yarn but doing 2 different colors, because had I known what I know now, I would have bought colors instead of the beige color or the cream color. So thankfully I can return one, or at least I hope so. It was on sale, so I'm hoping I can still return it or exchange it. And then I'm thinking either the pink color that I was looking at before and the lime green color, or teal or red or purple. Can you see the person in the side view mirror there? Is that a dog? No. It's just a weird reflection. Anyways, yeah, I'm thinking the pink and the green and with the cream, will be very springy. It'll definitely be giving more spring colors. Even though it's literally the same color palette, I realized last night. It's the same color palette as the DK, which is like the red, pink, and green and cream. Except that one was that's more red and dark green. This is more like pink and lime, which I've been really into those colors recently. But also the purple is really beautiful. I don't know, we'll see. I also need to get a yarn skein for my mom. She is crocheting pillow covers, so she asked me to pick up a color for her. So that's what we're doing. I just filmed that whole clip and it was not recording. I got the lavender matcha. I like the matcha. I don't think I care for the lavender. It's too sweet for me and it kind of tastes more like a cookie. Someone just pulled up a set. Why does that look like someone I know? Anyways, I got this yarn for my mom for her pillow. And then I got these two for my cardigan. These are the Karen Blossom Cakes. This one's in azalea, this one's in blossoms. Yeah, so these are what I got. I was leaning towards this one with the green one, but the green one had like green and then yellow and blue undertones, and it just wasn't really matching all three when I put them together. But this one has purple undertones, so it matches well. There, that color is a little bit easier to see. Pretty.
March 31st. So I was gonna say it needs to be like as soon as possible before the president Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's March 31st, and so next Monday. And oh, not even. No.
It is March 27th, and here is the progress on the cardigan. I'm getting pretty close to switching to purple, and I'm still working on the yoke right now, but it's basically switched to a 4-row repeat, which does increases before and after each of these cables, and there's 4 of them. So this is the shoulder, and then we have like a front panel, and then this is the back panel here, and repeats on the other side. And then on the 3rd row of the repeat, it only increases on the back panel and the front panel, so before and after the 2. And then the shoulder doesn't have an increase on that row. So we're doing good. I'm at 4 out of 11 of the full repeats. So in total it's 44 rows, and I am at 16. I'm on row 17 out of 44. So we're getting there. I think in the next 2 or 3 rows, I'll say 1 to 3, I'm gonna do another buttonhole. So we're about here, and it's every 10 centimeters is a buttonhole. So there's the first one. I have a little stitch there. We're gonna do another one in a few stitches, but this is how it looks. How do I show this? This is how it is working up. So this is the neckline at the top here, and we're slowly going down the body. But this is the front here. I think it's looking nice. And the collar is like this ribbing and then this knit kind of curl edge, which I think is cute. And I think the eyelet cable knit is working up really pretty. I love the colors of this peach, so exciting. Okay, I was knitting, and then I saw one of the rows like right here. I had knit across it instead of doing the cable, So I fixed it, and then I went back to look at the other ones, and I did it on this one too. Do you see? There's like a knit row here, right here, that is supposed to be a crossover. And it's the same row that I did it on this side. So I'm like, what was I doing when I was knitting this row? Obviously not paying attention. So now I'm going to go back and purl, and when I get to here, I'll undo these stitches. Thankfully I caught it pretty early. It's only like 4 rows back. Ugh, so annoying. I didn't do it on this one. I did it on like alternating ones. You know what? I think it was probably the row that I was just doing the increase here. And yeah, that's probably what it was. Increase here, whatever. So I got myself confused. Annoying. Okay, I decided I think I'm just gonna leave it. It's really not that noticeable because I realized that it's gonna mess with the increases and I'll have to refix those, because then I went back to look at, I think it's this one, and there's an increase that's missing a twist right there. Well, it's hard to see, but see how they twist here and this one is not. So now I have to, when I make my way back, I don't really want to have to deal with that here. I will think about it. Okay. We're gonna go back, fix that one. I ignored the one on here, wherever it was, whatever stitch it was. And we just swapped to purple. So let's see how it looks. Here's the purple. Okay, I started this like exactly a week ago. Don't mind that. But we're finally back on our cream color. We've done full circle, and I'm getting close to, I believe, where I cast off for the armpits. I think that's pretty good progress for just a week. Looks good, I'm happy with it. Okay, just got to finishing the yoke increases. I need to recount because I counted, I was 1 stitch off, so I'm going to recount, make sure that's correct, and then I'll add a stitch in somewhere. And then we'll be dividing for the sleeves. So yeah, I think it looks good. I want to give an update on my cardigan that I started throughout this video. Here she is. Right now I'm just adding length to the body, and then we will finish it out with the ribbing and then pick up for the sleeves. So I'm 1 day away from being 2 weeks since I started this. Oh wow, here she is. Can I move back? Here she is. My arms are in the armholes. Should I do a little cardigan? So I'm happy how this is going. Again, this was the project. I bought I already explained it all in this video, but bought yarn to use up yarn. It's in there, and I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up exchanging one of the beiges and got a pink and purple to make this. And this is the feathered cardigan from Drops Feathered something. I'll have all the information, but what I like about this is because it is a striped cardigan, it works the button bands as you go down using a garter stitch. So this is the stockinette, and then this is the garter stitch, and you work the buttonholes as you go which is also really, well, that's what you do anyways, but yeah. So starts up at the neck and I'm working down the body. Here's my stitch marker, just a little pin, a little gourd pin, for where I measure for the next buttonhole, and it's every 10 centimeters. And when I did the math for the color work or the color changes, I was doing every 7.5 centimeters, which it's ended up being bigger because I should have been measuring from like the stockinette stitch, like in the middle of the panel or something, but I was measuring from kind of here, and so it is a bit bigger than 7.5 centimeters, but it is like when you count from these edging, it's about 10 of the V stitches, which I think is about 20 rows. So we'll see what color it ends off in. If I find like there's a like it ends off kind of random when I meet the length, then, you know, I can always just add a bit. It's not that serious. So I'm working on purple and my next will be white. I'll try it on because I don't know if I'll end it in the white because that's the beginning row, but it might be nice to have white and white on both ends. Talking about the yarn, he's all fallen apart, but this is the Cardigan Blossom Cakes in the color Yacht Club, Azalea, and Blossoms. And I really like how much variation there are in the colors. So it does kind of go between cool tones and warm tones, which I really like. So you can see this is kind of like a cool purple, almost borderline blue, and then it goes into the warmer, yeah, here's a better way to see it. And then same with the cream color, it's almost like a gray and then like a warmer tan. Yeah, and I think it just works up so pretty. It gives it like an ombre, like sunset vibes. And the yarn is very soft. It is a cotton acrylic blend, and it is actually like a tubular type yarn. So I think it'll be hard to see, but it's just me. Anyways, what I like about that is the tubular yarn. I didn't think I had liked it until I started working with it, but it does kind of give a halo effect because it's kind of like the center of the tube has these white strands running through it, and then the color is kind of like a halo effect to it. I think it's easier to see on the purple where it's almost like a white in the center of the strand of the yarn, if that makes sense. Yeah, I've had no issues working with it, and I give up. Maybe I'll get a picture or something. And I think a benefit of this is that it's I think it'll be very airy and lightweight for the spring. Yeah, and the size of it, I'm using 5.5 millimeter needles, and it's worked up super fast. Again, this is 2 weeks of work. I have been at like long, well, like, yeah, one overnight dog sit where I basically spent like 2 days just knitting back and forth. And I am happy with the pattern I chose. I think it is fitting for like the spring theme with this eyelet design with the what's it called? The braiding, you know what I mean, the cable knit, and it is in the front on the yoke and the back. I made one mistake that I did not fix. I decided to take the L and leave it. I think it's right here. Yeah, you can see it right there. I missed a cable knit. I just did a knit across, And by the time I noticed it, I didn't really want, it wasn't that far along, but I didn't want to go back and try to figure out how to add the increases after. I think I would have figured it out, but I didn't want to do it that day. So I just kept knitting, and it's on the back on one of these pink increases, and it's really like, no one would notice it, only I noticed it. But it's not something that bothers me enough. It's not like a drop stitch or something. So yeah, I don't know, I'll have to see it finished to know if I love the color choices. I love the pink and purple, but I am like, I don't know if I'm fully sold on the cream, as again, it has like, I think it's like the cooler tones in it kind of give gray, and I'm like, do I love that with the color combination? Like maybe if I were to make it again, I would have chosen the limey yellow and green. So then it really is giving like green, pink, purple, like flower and plants. But right now, I think once I finish it, I'll be very happy with it. And I'm hoping to have it done by the end of April. So another 2 weeks. And this has been 2 weeks of work. So I'm almost done the body. And then I just do the sleeves. So I might be able to finish it sooner, depending on how quick I work it. But yeah, that's the knitting update. Okay, I'm at the end of the body in terms of the measurements, and unfortunately the last buttonhole is going to be kind of right at the bottom, but I think now I'm going to swap to these smaller needles, the 4mm or whatever I have, and we're doing 8 more rows, and then that'll finish it. And then once I hit the 10mm between this last buttonhole, I'll add the final one. But yeah, that is the update. Today is April 9th, I think, yeah. April 9th, and then we will be picking up around the armholes and doing, oh, that's not the armhole. It's in here. Here it is. But we'll be doing white again. Right there. I finished casting off. This is how it looks. I did an Italian bind off. I think it looks nice. And it kind of like, it has this ribbing here, and then these are just like stockinette stitches, right? That's right? No. Whatever. It's just knitting, and it kind of gives it a little curl at the bottom as it does at the top. And I didn't update this, but I was supposed to do 6 buttons in the buttonholes, but the way it measured is that it's like 10 centimeters in between, and basically the buttonhole would have been down here, like on the ribbing, and I didn't want that. Like, I could have kept going to make it longer, which would be normal, except I was hitting the end of my color work, which is almost 9 centimeters here. So I didn't want to have to cast on another color, and I didn't want the color to not be the right length. Does this all make sense? So I opted out of just not doing a button. So it's gonna be 5 buttons, and I think it'll be just fine. Like when it buttons up, it's just not gonna have a button right at the bottom, but I don't think it'll look weird at all. And I picked out, okay, these are the buttons I picked. I was thinking I was gonna do like wooden buttons, like kind of oak, but after I was looking at them, I was like, no, it's not the vibe I want. So I picked these. I haven't even tested if they go through. Yeah, they'll be fine. Well, they'll go through. Little flowers.
Ray should put like a clip in the beginning part, which is like switching through clips and.
So I am about to pick up for my second sleeve. This is the finish of the first sleeve. That's how the cuff turned out. And yeah, I picked up extra stitches under the armpit, and so I had some extra when like casting off and decreasing. Here you can see this is under the arm. These are like the little decreases on the left side. I think it's fine, like once you kind of wash it and stuff, and also it's under the armpits, so you're not gonna notice it. But yeah, that is that, and I'll do a little try on later. All right, swapping to my last color. I think this will be enough to finish the cuff. I put on the first button, and I use the yarn. It's kind of, I like how it looks, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to sew on because the needle like just fits through the hole, and it's kind of hard to feed this thread through the end of it. It's kind of small. So now I just gotta do the rest. Okay guys, we finally finished. Ta-da! I finished it exactly in 30 days. So pretty proud of that. And I chose these cute little flower buttons, and I used the color matching yarn for the rose. So let's talk. The yarn I used was the Cardigan Cake Blossom, and I just had a little bit of the white left and a decent amount. I'll show you. About this much of the pink was left, so quite a bit. I would say more or less half. And same with the purple. The white was just a little bit because we ended on a white row. So there was an extra row of white for each sleeve and the bottom. The yarn, I quite like it. I have not like tested it out in the wild. I still want to wash and kind of block it. But it's quite light and airy. It's very soft, not itchy at all. Like it's cotton and acrylic. What percentage? What the heck? 61% cotton and 39% acrylic. It's a 4 medium weight, and it calls for 5mm needles or 5mm crochet hook. And for the pattern, I think I used 5.5. So this pattern is by Drops Design. It's the Frosted Whisper cardigan, and I did a size large. I kind of wanted a bit oversized, and I think that was perfect choice for me. It uses a 5.5mm for the body and 4mm for the ribbing. So it's like 4 rows of 1x1 knit and purl, and then 4 rows of knit, and that curls down. And I think it's cute, and that's the same for the bottom and the cuffs, which I quite like. And then it also has this like eyelet cable design that goes to the armpit. I will say I changed 2 things. When I was picking up stitches under here, I picked up I think an extra 6 stitches because I didn't want there to be any gaps. So I had a few extra stitches around the cuff, and then I just did like a decrease for it to be an even number for the ribbing. And then also I didn't do 1 extra button at the bottom because the way that it would have ended was that I would have needed to do for the measurement between the buttons, I would have needed to add another stripe of color, or else it would have ended like right at the ribbing. So I decided to just not have it, and so the bottom's just a little bit open like that, and I don't mind. So it's 5 buttons, which means I actually have an extra button in case I lose one of these, I guess. So that worked out well. Yeah, it only took me a month. I would say it was pretty easy. This style of the button band is worked up alongside the rows, so it's a garter stitch. Yeah, and then you work the buttonholes as you go, so it's, you kind of have to keep that in mind as you're working. You can't forget to do buttonholes, but that was fine with me. And then also because I did striping, I also kept in mind when I need to swap colors. Overall, yeah, like the longest part was doing the, I guess, yoke, and then by then it was just working stockinette stitch and then the garter stitch for the button bands. And yeah, I would say I'd give this yarn a 5 out of 5. I quite like it. I'll probably buy, I would buy more definitely. And the pattern also was probably like a 5 out of 5 for me. Quite easy. I made one mistake on one of the stitches on the back, but it's not noticeable at all. And you can see it's on this side too. Compared to the pattern, the eyelet stitches are pretty, like the eyelet gaps are pretty big. But I think it's just because the chunkier kind of style yarn. But yeah, I think it turned out to be the perfect spring cardigan. I definitely want to make like another one in different colors, but I do have plans for the next 2 projects. Right now, I am making a crochet like crop cardigan that's like flowers, so that will be probably the next video. And then I have a blue vest planned. I pulled out the yarn, and a green and pink striped cardigan that's more of like a mixed weights and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be using, I think I'm going to be using this yarn again in the pink and green. I have the yarn over there, that's why I'm looking. So yeah, that is the plan. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and following along making this cardigan. I will also have inserted pictures, but if you're interested, please subscribe. I'll be making a crochet flower cardigan, which will be the next video, and then after that, hopefully my best and my second cardigan. Yeah, have a good day, y'all. Bye.